Okay, welcome to episode 8 of the Distro Spinner. If you're new to the channel and you've never seen these videos before, the idea is pretty simple. So we have a wheel here made up of some random Linux distributions / operating systems. Most of them put forward by you guys, though I will sprinkle in the odd one of my own here and there. And then at the start of each week we will spin the wheel, and no matter what it lands on, I will use for an entire 7 days, and at the end of that week I'll give a sort of week in review about my time spent with it, and then we spin the wheel again to start the week over with a new operating system. If you would like to get a suggestion on the wheel for me to potentially have to use it for 7 days, you can leave a comment below, or the best way and the place for me most likely to see it is in the Discord server, which I'll leave a link in the description to this video. With that being said, we do have some new additions this week. We have Samsung DeX, which I actually put forward because I think that could be quite a funny challenge to have to use that for an entire 7 days. We then have Redcore, which is a Gen 2 based Linux distribution. We also have Enzo OS and KDE Neon. So we're going to spin the wheel and see what we've got for the next 7 days. Nice, I was hoping that we'd get that at some point. Brilliant. So we have Enzo OS. I've never actually used this before, but I've heard quite a bit about it. So what we're going to do is download the ISO and then burn it to a USB. So let's just go into Enzo OS. So we're going to go in here. So believe in greener computing. So as you can see, it's got quite a nice little look and feel to it. So we're going to download the ISO now. Quickly see how large the SourceForge. I hate it when they use SourceForge, you know. Okay, hopefully it's not a very long download time. So that 5's not even moving. Let's go to problems downloading and choose a different mirror. Let's choose the Germany one. There we go. 2, 1. Right, so how large is the ISO? So the ISO is 1.9 gig there, but it'll probably be a bit bigger once it's downloaded in the file manager. So what I'm going to do now is pause the video, burn it to a USB, and then we're going to be booting off that USB once I come back. Okay, we've just booted the USB up, so we've got a few options here in the grub screen. We can either try Enzo without installing, we can install Enzo, we can do an OEM install, or we can check the disk for defects. What we're going to do is do the try Enzo without installing and just load up the installer while we're in the live desktop. That way I can mirror the displays nice and easy and we can both watch what's going on together. So let's boot into the desktop. Okay, so the screen should come on in just a second. Oh, I quite like that loading screen. It's nice. Right, I think we should just be loading up now. Okay, cool. I'm not going to mention too much before we get going, but also I need to set the display up, don't I? So let me just go into the display settings and it'll be with you in just a second. Mirror, apply. Right, it should come on. Bang. Okay, cool. So we get a little welcome screen here, but we'll go through all of that once we are installed. So let's open up the installer here. Okay, so it appears to be using Ubiquiti, which is the Ubuntu installer. So we're going to go for English and click continue. English UK, let's test that keyboard out. That is all good. Continue. Okay, we're going to download updates while installing, and we're also going to install third-party software and click continue. I know I wasn't going to mention what I thought of it already, but it does look quite nice off first impressions. Okay, cool. So as I said, we have nothing on this computer, so we're starting completely from fresh. So what I'm going to do is go to something else and do some manual installation. And we are going to install it across 2 disks. So we're going to give root its own disk, and we're also going to give home its own disk. So we're going to do a 300 megabyte partition for the EFI. And then the rest is going to go on root here. So we're just going to do our mount point at root. And then we're going to go all the way down to this disk here, which is the Samsung Evo. Let me just double check. Yep, SDF. And then we're going to chuck a 4 gig swap. I don't need a too large swap. We're only going to be using it for a week, so I can probably live without Hibernate or anything like that. So we're going to go for swap area here. And we're going to go 4096, which is 4 gig. Click OK. And then we should have all of this now is going to be our home partition. And I think for the most part that's all we're going to need for the whole week. If I do need any more space though, you can see I'm not short of disks really. So we're going to go for the install now. The bootloader is going to be on the SAN disk, which is all good. which is the dev SDA here. So we're going to go to install now. And this is how it's going to format it. So we've got an ESP SDA, XT4 SDA, which is our root. Then we have a swap on SDF, and then another ext4, which is our home partition. Yep, that's correct. And now we're going to do our user accounts and our passwords, and we're going to log in automatically. Brilliant. Right, so the ISO size, once it had fully downloaded, was about 2.1 gig, I think. I'll put a little screenshot on the screen so we can actually see, because I think that's correct. So the time now is 4 minutes and 4 minutes is 4 and I'll say it in a minute, is 12 minutes past 4. So I'm going to pause the video here and then we'll see how long it took to install once I restart, and then we'll be booting off disk. Okay, so the installation is now complete and it's 5:17. Don't worry, it's not been an hour, it's just because obviously the time location's updated. So it's been about a 5-minute install, which isn't too bad, to be honest. So we're going to restart now, and then we'll be booting off the disk, ready into our new OS that we're going to be using for the rest of the week. So it hasn't asked me to take out the USB, but we'll do that anyway. USB out. And then we can see how long it takes to start up as well. Mind you, it's probably going to take a bit longer the first time we go. Okay, so it's not like instant. It's taking a bit longer than what I thought it would actually. Any minute now. I think it's coming now. Okay, cool. So before we get going, I just need to set up the mirror display so we can see what's going on. Mirror displays. Welcome screen's just popped up. We'll go through that in a moment. Click apply. And we should be looking at the same thing now. Perfect. Okay, so we've got a few things pop up. So we have an update for the software, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So that's going to update things like Firefox, the Ubuntu base, and a few other things. So let's go for install now, and that's a 29.8 megabyte download. Okay, so that's going to probably ask for a password, I would have imagined. There we go. Right, so here we are. Welcome to Enzo 0.3.1 Dancing Daisy. Is that the code name? I'm not too sure what I think about that. Right, let's get started. So we can edit user details in the welcome screen here, which is called Mugshot. That's quite funny. We can change system settings, which will just open up the XFCE settings manager. We can install applications. So I think, okay, I don't know what software store this is. AppHive, is this their own? This looks quite an interesting software store though. It looks quite nice. We can't really do anything at the minute because we're updating, so there'll be some sort of interference with the software store. Yeah, I can already see it's not liking it when we update at the same time, so let's just close this for now. And then we can also learn Enzo, which will probably open up a web page to one of their websites. There we go. I do like this, so we get a nice global menu at the top panel here, which appears to just be an XFCE panel. So let's go into panel preferences, and it is an XFCE panel. So in the appearance, I've brought the alpha down to 72. So this is the app menu plugin, which has given us the global menu. I'm actually quite a fan of that already. I love a global menu. Let's close. Oh, and all of our sort of action buttons like minimize, maximize are all to the left, which is I think that's how Mac does it, isn't it? And a few other distributions. Right, let's close that. So we have a dock at the bottom, which I do believe is Plank. So if we right click and go into preferences, we can see that it is Plank, and it has its own theme called Enzo. And let's see what Enzo Dark looks like. Okay, so you get a bit of a shadow here for Enzo Dark, and then if we was to change it to another one, so we have Clear 3D. So then you get like a little 3D sort of platform. I don't really like that though, so we're going to keep it on Enzo, and we're going to bring it down to about 36. So the actual panel ends where that last icon is, and it will sort of make itself larger as a new icon opens. So let's open. So we get a nice custom menu as well. I don't think I've seen this menu before. So this is the application launcher. We'll go through that in a moment. I just want to open up something to see how this Plank works. So if we open up Calendar, which appears to be Gnome Calendar as well, so they have Gnome Calendar installed, and as I said, it will sort of extend the panel, because if you go like here, you're on the desktop, whereas if you go here, you're on the panel. So let's close this calendar, and let's close this settings. Right, let's quickly have a look at what wallpapers it comes with out of the box. Ah, here's that loading screen colour I quite liked. Okay, it's not changing the wallpaper for now, but that is because an update's running, so we will do a reboot in just a moment once this update has finished. So we have a multitasking view here, which looks a bit like the elementary one. So if we was to press plus, we then get a different desktop here, and then we could drag that over to there. Pretty nice. Then we can go back, and the keyboard shortcuts, I'm going to imagine, are Control and Alt. They are indeed. Very nice and standard. Oh, it's like on a cycle though, so you can't... Oh no, ignore me. So left and right does work like you would expect. So we also have a clock plug-in here. Oh, that appears to be a custom plugin. Let me just go back into the panel preferences a moment. Yeah, so they have their own date and time plugin, which looks quite clean and nice. I like this. It's all looking very nice so far, to be honest with you. A very clean aesthetic. So in the application launcher, I'll tell you what, let's go into here because I did see something about the dock and launcher. So this is nice. When you open the desktop settings here, you also get a setting for the dock and the launcher. So the dock here is the preferences we just looked at. Instead of having to go into there, we also have it here where you can set the size, you can hide, you can do the primary display, and to basically all the settings that you would expect to be in here, you can also access in the desktop settings. But actually I'm quite impressed with that. I think that's pretty cool. So the launcher here, I don't know if this is a custom launcher or not. I've not actually seen it before. But we can do a few things, so we can switch it to category view, so let's try that now. Okay, it's not working at the moment. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to do a reboot, and then we're going to carry on having a little quick look through, and then sort of set it up for the week, and then we'll be done. So let's restart it now. I'll tell you what, before we restart, I'm going to install HTOP as well. Well, first I'm going to check if it has it. No, so we're going to install HTOP before we reboot. Cool. Let me just see what it says so far as well. So we've used 1.29 gig. Let me just check one more thing before we reboot. So it's still on the Bionic release at the moment, but this is their latest version though, so I wonder when they're going to do a new version of this distro. Let's do the app list upgradable and see if there's anything else we want to upgrade before we do that. So we got an update for Nautilus, Xserver. I'll tell you what, we're going to do that as well. And then we're going to do a reboot and then set it up for the week whilst also having a little look around. Cool, let's do a reboot. I'll tell you what though, appearance wise, this is one of the nicer XFCE setups I've seen in quite a while. I don't know why I've waited so long to properly check this distribution out, to be honest with you. Alright, the screen should catch up with us in just a moment. There we go. So I think it's still in beta as well. I think when I was downloading it, I think I saw the word beta somewhere. So hopefully at some point they do a new release with 20.04 as its base. Right, are we loading up? Okay, the startup time could be a bit quicker. Here we go, and it has changed the wallpaper. Although it's not updated our screen, so it's changed it to an extend. Let me just go back into the display settings. So like I said, it was when it was updating, it didn't actually set the wallpaper until we've rebooted, just because of the update interfering with a few things as we were going. But there we go. So we're probably going to want to turn this welcome screen off. So before we have a look at the applications, let's go into session and startup and turn off some of this stuff here. So let's just make this a bit bigger. Okay, so I can see we have Snap installed out of the box. Where's the welcome screen on here? XF Desktop. Am I being blind? Enzo welcome screen. Right, let's get rid of that. So it also has quite a few other things there, but we'll leave that as it is. So it's got a lot of the GNOME settings daemons there as well. Okay, let's close that. It kind of feels like sort of if GNOME met XFCE, although it's mainly just XFCE. Right, so let's have a look at what applications we come installed with, but before we do that, let's go into change desktop and go into the launcher now and see if we can change it. So let's have a quick look at it now. So that's the normal size icons. Let's try it with small, and let's try start category view. There we go, so we've now got categories and the icons are smaller. Let's try it with large, and then it will make the whole thing larger as well. So let's go back onto small. Okay, so here we are. We can also display at the top as well. So here we are on accessories at the moment, so let's just have a look at accessories. So files manager is going to be Funa. I do like having a global menu, so it's Funa version 1.6.15. I must say the theming is very nice. We'll have a look at the whole theming and the appearance setting in a moment. We also have Plank, which is this thing at the bottom here. Got notes, mousepad is our text editor, and then we have XFburn terminal. What is our terminal actually? Okay, Sakura, which also looks very nice with this theme. I do like just the look and feel is really nice. Okay, so that's accessories. In games you just have Mines and Sudoku, which will probably be the Gnome Mines and Gnome Sudoku. For images we have Ristretto and Simple Scan, nothing else in graphics though, so I'm going to want to install GIMP and things like that. In internet we have Firefox as our default web browser, Thunderbird Mail, Transmission for torrents, and we just have the sort of XFCE icons for web browser and mail reader. Oh, okay, I thought there would be an Office suite, but we have no Office suite here, so it just opts to have the calendar from Gnome, Material Document Viewer, Dictionary, and then the Urage stuff. And in preferences, we are going to jump straight into the appearance now. So we are using Enzo, but they also install Greybird, High Contrast, Numix, Adwater, Dark, and Adwater. And the icons are paper. I do quite like the paper icons, and it also has elementary XFCE and a few other things there, so that's pretty nice. And the font is Ubuntu regular, and it's a monospace regular for the monospace font. Very nice indeed. So that's appearance. We have, you know, just standard XFCE stuff there. Windows Manager again, just XFCE stuff. And it also has the XFCE terminal as well if you wanted to use that instead of Sakura, although that was just the terminal preferences. Okay, let's go into sound and video. So we have Gnome Music by the looks of things, which is quite a clean looking music player. I think this is Gnome Music. Let me go into About. A music application manager. Yeah, so I think that's just, yeah, Gnome Music. There we go. It's very clean though. I like the choice of applications that they've gone with here because it all sort of fits together and looks very sort of cohesive. So what else do we have in here? We have Pulse Audio, XFburn, and Parole. I'll probably install VLC over Parole. I'm not a massive Parole user. Okay, so AppHive is their application store, their app store. And we did say it has snaps installed out of the box. I wonder if it has any snapped programs already installed. No. Let's also see if we have Flatpak. Okay, so there's no Flatpak installed. I will install Flatpak. In fact, let's install a few packages now ready for when I need to use it. Let's get GIMP, Steam, Flatpak, and I'll probably get a few more things through Flatpak. Let's get Tmux, and I think that'll do for now. Obviously throughout the week I'll be downloading a lot more applications and setting it up. Okay, cool, that'll do for now. So let's just type in our password. Right, that's going to grab that for us, and what we're going to want to do is jump onto the quick start guide for Ubuntu Flatpak and just add the repo quickly. There we go, quick setup, and we're just going to want to grab this one here. So there's no GNOME software on here, so I don't know. Yeah, so obviously this is their own software store from what I can tell, so I'm just going to install Flatpaks by the command line for the time being. So let's go back into our terminal now and just add that repo, type in our password. So I'm going to grab Kdenlive through a Flatpak. We will need to do a reboot at some point though for it to appear. So let's see what it comes up with Kdenlive. I'm going to imagine it has the plugin, yeah, so there's two there, so one will be a snap and one will be from the Bionic repo. So does it tell us, do we have a, there we go, so it tells you there what the source is, so that is a snap package, and then that will be from Bionic, or Debian they say there. Okay, cool. Quite an old version now, as I say, this is based on quite an old, well not quite old, it's based on 18.04. So let's just go onto the Enzo website for a moment. So I wonder if there's a roadmap of any kind to see when we're going to get the newest version. No, so this is the latest version, which was released quite a while ago actually. So hopefully they do update it with the newest version as its base. Right, let's grab the Kdenlive Flatpak. As I said, we won't be able to use it until we do a reboot, so let's just copy that straight over to Sakura, and let's see what the alt tab, oh I like that, so that's uses its own different alt tab switcher as opposed to the sort of standard one you see on XFCE, and it has larger things for the size of the windows, and then you can see what's on the screen quite well there. I like that. Right, let's grab Flatpak, Kden Live. Brilliant, so that's going to install Kden Live for us. And is there anything else I want to take a look at before we do a reboot, get our RAM reading and wrap it up there? I think we are good to go for the most part. So let's open up Steam, and also you can search for your applications like that. Brilliant. I'm probably going to install Albert as well actually. Which is an application launcher for like Linux, and it will work quite well with this I think, and it will just appear in the middle there. So let's grab Albert from the OBS repo. Let's grab the Ubuntu, and I'm just going to grab the binary for 18.04 wherever you are. There we go. Let's just grab that for now. Save that file. So it has no sort of GUI to install your .debs. I thought it might do, but it doesn't. Oh, it does look nice though, doesn't it? I'm quite impressed about the sort of the whole look and feel of this one, to be honest with you. Right, how is our Flatpak install going? So that's still going. It's only downloading at 2.7 megabytes. Right, is Albert done? Brilliant. So let's install Albert. We will be able to install that while that's installing Flatpak, because obviously it's from a different, it's not apt, so you can install more than one thing at once. Let's go to Open Terminal here, and let's install that. And I'm just going to put a star there because there's nothing else in this folder, and then that will install Albert for us, and I will log in off screen at some point because I will be using this for everything for the whole week. So I need my games, I need my video editors, and I need everything else to sort of be there ready for me. Okay, so Albert should be installed. Let's open up Albert now and just sort of theme Albert for how we want it. No telemetry, thank you. Okay, so I want the hotkey to be that, and then I want to change it to arc dark grey, and I don't want to display a shadow, and I want to clear on hide and hide on close. Brilliant. So now let's go to extensions, and I want it to search through applications, I want it to search through files, and let's just go into there and just make sure it searches for every sort of file. Terminal, let's do a web search as well, why not, eh? Let's do system and Firefox bookmarks. Okay, we will need to add that to session and startups, so I'll show you how that works now. So now we could launch, say, app, and then their app hive will appear, and we can just enter. And it's sort of embedded in my muscle memory to use Albert like that. That's why I tend to like to use Albert as opposed to an application launcher and search. I just find it a bit easier for me. So now let's go into the session and startup. Add Albert to our application auto start. That is done. Click close. Let's go back to the last screen. And is Flatpak installed yet? Kden Live, it is indeed. I doubt it's in our application launcher just yet though. We'll do a reboot. But what we're going to do is reboot this now, get a RAM reading, and then we're going to wrap it up there. But like I say, this will be getting a full in-depth review throughout the week. So do make sure you tune in next week for my final thoughts of this distribution. Let's do a reboot and get a RAM reading. And we are back. So let's very quickly open up HTOP. And we are using 730 megabytes, 711, so it's pretty nice and light, to be honest. 705, and that is also with Albert starting up automatically, which does take a little bit of extra memory there. I don't like the fact that we have these. It's not saving the display anytime. Hold on, let me just sort the display out and mirror it. This is a bit annoying. So I'm having to set the mirror up every time, which won't matter for when I'm not filming a video because I like to extend it across my displays, but it seems that we have to keep setting it every time we want to get a mirror. Anyway, so RAM wise we're using just above 700. What we want to do is see if Kden Live is appearing. Brilliant, so Kden Live is appearing like it should. And now we just want to open up Albert once more and just sort something out because I don't like having a tray icon there. Okay, let's just do this and go into settings this way. Okay, we don't want the tray icon, so let's get rid of that, wherever that may be. Oh, it's starting again. Show tray icon, gone. Brilliant. Okay, that is Enzo OS. That is episode 8 of the Distro Spinner. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, please subscribe and also join the Discord, which is linked in the description below. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.